Hi guys, welcome back. This is the part 2 of a trouser tutorial. In this video, I'll be telling you how to go about the sewing. If you haven't seen the part 1 of a trouser tutorial, you should go and see it. There, I taught in detail how to cut a trouser. I'll be dropping a link to the video in the description box, so do well to check it out. Now let's get straight into the sewing tutorial. I'll start by sewing the pockets. Now I'll just get the front block of my trouser and I'll also get one of my pockets. I'll place them both right side facing right side and I'll stitch down the opening with a ½ inch sewing allowance. I'll do this for both of the front trouser block. I'm done sewing it. I'll go ahead and cut through my sewing allowance, making notches around the area that I've sewn. This is to help the pocket relax better when I turn it over. After notching, I'll go ahead and trim off the excess seam allowance to reduce the bulk inside. Then I'll go ahead to top stitch on my pocket, making sure that my seam is facing the pocket. I'm done with the top stitching, and you can see that my seam is now lying flat facing the pocket. The next thing I want to do is to flip the pocket this way, and I will make sure that the seam is lying properly and flat. Now remember I told you to take note of the width of your waist measurement. This is where it will come into play. I'll flip my pocket backwards this way so I can get back my waist measurement. I'm just making sure that the pocket is properly aligned at the hips area and at the waist. Now I'll use my tape to measure to get back the exact measurements I had before. If you measure and you don't have your exact waist measurement, you can always adjust the pocket, move it around till you have the exact measurement. Now that I have my exact waist measurement, I'll secure it with pins. Then I will take it to my sewing machine where I'll close the bottom opening to create my pocket bag. I'll also run a stitch along the waist and at the hips to secure the pocket. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and do that. I'm done sewing it. I also went ahead to give it a good press. This is what the front looks like. You can see that we now have our complete front. And this is what it looks like behind. I close the bottom and here's our pocket bag. The next thing I want to do is to join my front block and my back block together. So I'll just bring my back block, making sure that right side is facing right side. Then I will join at the inseam with ½ inch sewing allowance. I'll also join at the outseam with the 1-inch sewing allowance that I left. I'll repeat this for the other trouser legs. So I'll be taking this to my sewing machine to do the joining. I'm done joining and I have both trouser legs ready. I already went ahead to press open my seam lines. Now it's time to join both legs together. To do that, I'll be flipping one to the wrong side while I will leave the other one at the right side. Now I'll pick up this one that is at the right side and I will be putting it inside this one that is turned to the wrong side. You can just watch to see what I'm doing. After putting it inside, I'm just going to make sure I have front to front and back to back. As you can see, my two pockets are facing each other. And then I will match my seam up at the crotch. I'll secure this down with a pin. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and run a stitch from the center front to the center back with the seam allowance I left. I'm done with the joining and this is what we have now. We now have both trouser legs joined together. I already went ahead to press open my seam lines. I'll just flip over to the front to show you what it looks like. As you can see, our trouser is coming together and we're almost done. The next thing I'll do is to work on the waistband. For the waistband, I'll be matching them up one at a time. I'll be joining two front pieces together at the center line. You have to be careful not to mix up your pieces. This is the importance of labeling them so you don't get them mixed up. So I'll just get two front pieces, right side facing right side. I'll be joining with the same ½ inch allowance that we used in joining the two front blocks together at the center line. So if your allowance is more than ½ inch, work with the same allowance you used. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and join two front pieces together right side to right side. And then I will join the back piece to the front that we joined together with 1-inch sewing allowance at the side. Make sure you're joining the side and not the center. We want to get one long band that will have an opening at the center back for our zipper. Also ensure you're turning it the right way so you don't fix it upside down. So you might as well note where the up of the band is. I'm joining with 1-inch allowance because I used 1-inch allowance for the out seam on the main trouser. So work with the same allowance you used. I'll repeat this for the second pair to have 2 strips. I'll just take this to my sewing machine and join them. I'm done joining, and as you can see, we now have 2 strips for our waistband. I also pressed open all my seam allowances. The next step is to join the 2 bands together. We will be using one to turn over the other one, so I'll place them right side facing right side. I'll be placing them this way, making sure the upper parts and the lower parts are properly aligned. I'll also be matching up my seams. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and join it with 1/2 inch sewing allowance at the upper parts. I've joined both strips together, and I also pressed my seam line. I turned it over and still gave it a good press to make my band very flat. Now it's time to attach the band to the trouser. I'll open up my center back seam line. Also note that my trouser is turned to the right side. I'll go ahead and match up the center front points on the waistband and on the trouser. I'll also match up my side seam lines. You can use pins to secure this to make it easier. Then I'll go ahead to join the band to the trouser, sewing from the center front to one end and from the center front to the other end with 1/2 inch sewing allowance. I'm done joining the waistband, and I've also given it a good press. I'll be weaving all my rough edges to give it a neat finishing. So our trouser is ready, guys, and here's what the final look looks like. I'll be opening up my center back to fix in my zipper. I'll also hem the bottom of my trouser to finish it up. So that's it for our trouser tutorial. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed up to this point, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit on that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you'll always be the first to know whenever I post a new tutorial. Will you be trying out this trouser tutorial? Let me know in the comment section. See you in the next tutorial. Bye!